Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the War Room. We got Dev, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the Hot Block Commander. How you want it in a 1 or 2 hour show to keep the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level. Roll with the topic, sorta like the rebels. When it's game time, they like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4th and 26th, so the war in Kuwait. It's the War Room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys diversified and educated.
What up, everybody out there in War Room Land? You're once again live in the War Room, brought to you by War Room Sports on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Dev McMillan. I'm at the round table with my gridiron partner in crime. We got Fred Perdue in the building. He's going to chill with me for the first hour as we chop it up about football and other stuff. Jimmy the Blueprint will be with me after that to chop up some NBA tea, so keep it locked right here. And if you guys want to get in on all of the craziness, you know what to do. Just make sure you hit us on the JW Philly Realty chat room at blogtalkradio.com/the War Room, or you could join us on Facebook or Twitter at War Room Sports. You can also call us directly in about 10 minutes after we gamble with Gus and open up the Digital Extreme Tech hotline. That number is 323-410-0012. But before we get started, make sure that during the week when we're not live on the air, you check out archived episodes of our show at warroomsports.com, the War Room Sports mobile app, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spreaker, Google. Wherever you listen to podcasts, we're most likely to be there. Freddie, what's up, good brother? How you?
What's going on, man? Good to be with you guys this week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's always good to have my gridiron partner in crime in the laboratory with me to see what we're going to cook up for this week. If you guys are not familiar, you can check out Fred and I on 2 different shows. If you're a college football fan, you can check out Quick Slants. And you can do that at warroomsports.com, or you can go directly to the War Room Sports YouTube page to check out all of our episodes of Quick Slants. We've already recorded Quick Slants for this week, so you're free to go and see everything that we're talking about in the world of college football. We're going to touch on a little bit more college football in the next few minutes after we talk to Gus. But for more in-depth coverage of college football, make sure you check out Quick Slants. And if you're an NFL football fan, you can check out Cover 2 with McMillan and Perdue, also at warroomsports.com, or directly on the War Room Sports YouTube page. We talk about everything going on in the National Football League. Again, we're going to talk some NFL in just a few minutes here, but if for in-depth coverage, make sure you check out Cover 2 with McMillan and Perdue every week. All right, man. It's been a crazy week so far, Fred, but it's time to get it in. I see we got the homie Gus waiting on the line. So before we talk to Gus and see what his parlays are for the week, you guys know the drill. You guys, Hot Topics are brought to you by MyBookie. Let's talk real quick about how much dough you guys can make betting on sports at MyBookie. The NBA, NFL, and NHL still chugging right along. So if you haven't checked out MyBookie, this is a great time for you to do that. Lay down some dough on the biggest games in sports. Join us and thousands of other online players placing bets at mybookie.ag. If you guys are tired of wondering what services are doing when it's time to pay you, that's why we urge you to join MyBookie. When you win, they pay you. No hassles, no waiting. You're wasting your time betting anywhere else. They even have in-game live betting so you can place wagers after the game start. Join now. MyBookie will match your first deposit with a 100% bonus. All you got to do is use promo code WARROOM, WARROOM, all caps, to activate this offer. Visit mybookie.ag today. Play, win, and get paid. Period. All right, so we're going to go to the phone lines here. Gus, are you there? Gus. Fred, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you just fine, man. Sounds like Gus got
you hear
another
me?
flag on Gus.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
All right. I'm like, where'd Gus go? I thought, maybe somebody confronted you or something about a pick that they didn't like. I didn't know what was going on there, man.
Hey, I was 3-1 last week. They didn't confront me. Get the, what, and blah, 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 blah.
But there's nothing to be confronted about this particular week. As he said, he was
That's right.
3-1 last week. That makes him 35, 34-3 for the year. It's time for us to get some picks in, man. So let's go to the first game here. And don't mind me, I'm in a bit of a rush here, so it might be a little bit hasty, but I'm going to slow down for a minute, and we're going to talk a little Baltimore versus the Los Angeles Chargers. What are your thoughts on this game? I think the line on this one is Ravens +4.
Yeah, it's Ravens +4, Chargers -4. I'm taking the Chargers. They have the number 2 rushing offense and the number 1 overall defense, and it's a balance. Sometimes those defensive rankings can be misleading. It'll be a team will be high in the, for example, defensive rushing piece because they can be thrown on so easily, so people don't even bother, or vice versa. They're 3 in both rush defense and pass defense, so it's a very balanced defense. Defense travels. I think in this case, and they have the 2nd rushing offense in the league, I think in this case what's going to be interesting is the Chargers have a very good young defensive back, Derwin James, very versatile. He can do a lot of things, cover tight ends, and everything comes down the box. I think Jackson is going to force him not to be quite as versatile, and they're going to have to restrict him a little more than they normally would. So I'm taking the Ravens +4, and it's also one of my upset picks for the week. I think the Ravens win outright.
Okay. All right. So the next one is the Falcons and the Cam Newton-less Carolina Panthers. The spread on that one is 3.5. Where are you going?
Yeah, I'm taking the Falcons laying to 3.5. That was Panthers too. So it just tells you a good quarterback is worth about a 5-point swing. Of course, the upper echelon's about a touchdown swing. So the Panthers are on the spiral, no offense. And even a bad Falcon defense can put 8 in the box and just focus on McCaffrey and make the Hanky, I don't know if I'm saying his name right. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I don't expect him to win a shootout against the Falcons. This ain't Old Dominion where he came from. So Falcons -3.5.
Yeah, after getting the Cam Newton news, I need to go back and check my my straight up pick'em picks to make sure I got the right.
I switched to that one earlier today too.
I was about to say because I think I may have had Carolina. There's no way that I have them winning without Cam Newton and with a quarterback that neither one of us can pronounce his name. So the next game on the docket is the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Houston Texans. You got a 1.5-point spread on this one. Where you going with this one?
I'm taking the Eagles -1.5. The 2017 Eagles showed up finally, and I don't think it's going to be enough to spark a quarterback controversy, but it will be enough for teams to come calling for Foles to be their starting quarterback. Texas was lucky to get away with a win against the Jets. Well, maybe I shouldn't say lucky because that receiver Hopkins is just unbelievable. But they got away with a win. I don't see them winning 2 in a row on the road. And again, I think we got the 2017 Eagles. I take the Eagles -1.5.
All right. We got an over-under. Bears 49ers. The over-under number is 43. You going over or you going under?
I'm taking the under. The Bears are the number 3 defense. The Niners are number 12. They have a good defense. They've just had problems scoring points and controlling the ball. The defense has been on the field a lot. But, hey, San Francisco only got 9 points against the Bucs offense a couple of weeks ago. Yes, they've played better at home, but I just think this Bears defense is going to be something that young Mueller, who's had his moments, but this is something he hasn't seen. So I think that's going to be a pretty low-scoring game.
All right. The next one up, we got Seattle versus the Kansas City Chiefs. That spread is 2.5. Where are you going with this one?
I got Seattle +2.5. KC offense has become one-dimensional. They're down to the third running back with Ware having a hamstring, and as you know, hamstrings don't go away, only with time. The D has been bad all year. As great as Mahomes has been, he's never been in an environment where he's going to be up in Seattle. And so I look for Seattle to cover that spread, and that is my second upset pick of the week. Seattle wins outright.
Oh, damn it, Gus. I need the Chiefs to win that game.
Yeah, we had that discussion already, Dev.
Yeah, we definitely did.
We need that.
I need the Chiefs to win that game, man. I don't ever root for you to be wrong, but I think I'm going to root for you to be wrong. All right, so we have the Raiders, the Oakland Raiders, playing their division rival, the Denver Broncos, and that spread is 3 points. Who you got?
I'm taking the Raiders plus the 3. They're playing better at home offensively. The Broncos just have trouble scoring. And I always look at home underdogs within the division. I think that's just a gold mine. And so the Raiders only lost by 1 earlier in the year when they weren't playing anywhere near as well. Denver is not really good enough to be sweeping anybody, really, when you come down to it. So I take the Raiders to cover the 3, and that is my third upset special of the week.
Man, we got 3 upset specials going on here. And before we get you out of here, Gus, you want to recap the upset specials for the people?
Upset specials. Ravens take down the Chargers. The Seahawks over the Chiefs. And the Raiders over the Broncos.
All right.
So when I put my money up, that means so when I put $100 on this, I need my return, right? I'm just
See, look at you, man. Everybody always
read the fine print.
Everybody always trying to threaten the if you lose, you lose.
I'm getting on a plane tomorrow, so good luck finding me.
my man makes great picks. He don't mean he's not magical. He's not a fortune teller. So that's why it's called gambling. You're gambling. All right, but
investing.
Yeah, exactly. We're investing. So just like you would invest anything else, Fred, man, you gotta live with the risk. All right, but Gus, as usual, man, thank you for your time, and we will talk to you next week for that vaunted Week 17 of the NFL season.
Will do. Y'all take care and enjoy the holiday.
All right,
safe travels. Man, thanks.
All right, that's Gus Griffin. Everybody, go out. Make your bets. Like I said, we are not responsible for negative outcomes. That's why it's called gambling. That's why it's called investing. But he is over 500 for the year, and he usually ends pretty strong. I think that strong ending started last week with his 3-1 record on his picks last week. All right, so let's get into a little bit of college football since we do have our college football expert in the building with us. So, it's I got to talk football with you. We got you for an hour, so we got to take full advantage of the knowledge. So, college football, early signing day has happened. Give me some highlights. What happened on early signing day? I heard about, somebody, wanting to do Michigan and going, committing to Alabama and then going back to Michigan.
Yeah.
Stuff going on.
Yeah. Alabama's been involved in a lot of these big recruiting battles. And for me, when I look at it, across the board, Alabama, we can start off with Georgia. We'll get to Alabama in a minute. But when you look at Georgia, the hype has been real for like the last 3 years. And Kirby Smart has hit the ground running. I mean, he flipped an Ohio State quarterback. You lose one, you lose the number 2 quarterback prospect and the number 2 overall prospect in the country. You're probably going to lose him to Ohio State. So what do? You go out and flip Ohio State 6'6" pocket passing, top 100 quarterback prospect, Dwan Mathis, who he wasn't going to be able to enroll early at Ohio State. So, of course, Georgia can provide you that. Trey Sanders, who is now he was a strong Georgia. He was strong on Georgia, but he ended up signing with Alabama. You're going to see a lot of this back and forth between these two teams. Alabama's going to have the number one recruiting class because 90% of the top recruits have all signed already on the dotted line. And I like this early signing period simply because you can get all the hoopla out of the way. I know in February all the diehards, they have undefeated records and they want to see these kids put on hats and jerseys and hoodies and all this other stuff on, and they're like me. I take a personal day off of work and I literally sit in front of my TV with whatever food I have. This is college football Super Bowl for recruiting because everyone's undefeated, and you're putting the hopes and dreams of a whole university on one 18-year-old or maybe even a 17-year-old over the course of the next 4 years, and this kid might not even be good. I mean, and then you wonder why NFL teams are so worried. But this is the beginning, and Alabama they just keep on securing really good classes. They did get Trey Sanders, who if for the college football fans that don't watch these kids, go get you a Huddle account and just go watch these kids. Type their names in and go watch their high school film. It's all there. Huddle is very much like a Twitter or a Facebook, or YouTube, but for high school football film, and you get to see their highlights. And a lot of what I've seen this year, this class could be really, really elite, especially at the running back position. Alabama also landed offensive tackle Evan Neal. He is just a monster. And Alabama's landing guys like Jordan Battle, who flipped over from Ohio State, Fort Lauderdale, St. Thomas Aquinas, star safety. Also, when you look at Daxton Hill, they lost him. They lost him to Michigan, who he kept going back and forth. He's the number one safety in the country. And when you have a big blue chip recruit like that, you know what Nick Saban loves in his secondary. Those big, tough Minkah Fitzpatrick types, the Ronnie Harrison types, the Mark Barron types. There's so many different ways they can go at safety, but it's such a key position in his defense that when you lose a guy like that to Michigan, you're a little upset. I look at also the Florida Gators, and you'll see an SEC trend here because the SEC went Christmas shopping pretty much. The SEC came down to my hometown, Lakeland, Florida, and they went and came to the Lakeland Dreadnoughts, who just happened to win their 7th state title, and pick up 3 of their star players. Lloyd Summerall, defensive end, Keon Zipper, tight end, as well as Devav Hammond, who's an offensive lineman. And all 3 of these guys are really, really good players. I had a chance to go see all 3 of these guys play a couple times, and the Gators might be in the running for another player next year, in Bowman next year, the running back. He's a big 5'11", 205-pound kid probably by the season starts next year. He's fast, but he's also got that run between the tackles. He loves contact, but he has another gear. And when you see him switch into that other gear, it's a craze. He's really, really good. Ohio State, like I said, those guys, they won the Big Ten when it comes to recruiting, and that's a good thing because you have Ryan Day taking the torch from Urban Meyer, in which Ohio State decided we're just going to give you an old NCAA football video game montage of what these recruits are going to look like in a nice gesture to these kids. Anything you can do to get these kids to come and make them feel good about themselves until you have to de-recruit them. They picked up defensive end Zach Harrison out of Michigan, and he's going to be a big time recruit for them. Texas, they missed out on their running back prospects, Trey Sanders and Noah Cain. Noah Cain, who went to Penn State, as well as Trey Sanders, who went over to Alabama. They needed running back help. Texas is going to need a lot of help on the offensive side, and that would have been huge because when you get the running game going, you have a quarterback like Sam Ehlinger, who's a bit of a dual threat guy, and that's what you need. The running back has to complement the quarterback. For me, I think the unsung heroes in all of this have been North Carolina and Arkansas, pulling together some pretty good classes with some pretty good quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, North Carolina actually stole Florida State's Sam Howell, quarterback prospect. Stole him up from right under the noses. And when you see these type of things, it makes me smile. The big schools not getting the big name player that they particularly wanted, and maybe another school within the conference even better. That happens, and I love saying stuff like that.
Well, while you're on North Carolina, I definitely have to give a shout out. They also have a signee from Philadelphia, offensive lineman by the name of Asim Richards. Shout out to that young man. His mom is a friend of mine. We go back to first grade, and it's exciting to see her son living his dreams, and she's always been a sports mom, so it's exciting to see how excited she is about this whole thing. So I'll be watching a little bit more North Carolina football in the next few years. As a offensive lineman, 6'5", 285 pounds from the Haverford School in Philadelphia. He's a 3-star prospect who is ranked the number 6 player in the state of PA and the number 42 overall offensive tackle in the nation. So, again, shout out to him. He's a 2-sport player. He also played basketball. I don't know if he's going to go to North Carolina and try to do his Julius Peppers thing, but we'll be watching some UNC football coming up. Any other signing day?
For me, when I look at Nolan Smith, defensive end, Georgia, he's the number 1 overall prospect in the country. That wasn't really surprising. I kind of figured he'd end up there. Kayvon Thibodeau, we talked about this on Quick Slants. He made his way over to Oregon. I want to know how much Oregon dropped in that bag. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out Quick Slants, and you'll understand. I'll leave it there. That's a nice little plug there. But for me, when I look at Jaden Hasselwood, an All-American, he's going to be making his choice on January 5th. He's down to Florida State, Tennessee, Georgia, Miami, and Oklahoma. He's a really big, tall, rangy receiver. One of those, he has that A.J. Green type of feel to him. That's the kind of guy that Miami team, I'm looking for a lot of different recruits, because Miami's really, there was a mass exodus from the U because of the coaching change on the defensive side of the ball, losing Manny Diaz to Temple of all places. Why does Temple always come back to bite the U? That's a terrible trade. That was a terrible trade. We got Al Golden, and they got Manny Diaz. I don't get it. I don't like it. Cannot play with him. Cannot coach with him. Can't do it. Mark Richt on the hot seat, sir. Can't do it. And for me, I think also when I look throughout the country, you're going to see a lot of big-time recruits wanting to start early, and that's going to be one of the things that these teams are going to have to, if you're promising these type of things, you have to go through with it, because if you don't, you'll have a situation like a Justin Fields, who he'll actually be playing. There was reports he's actually going to play in the bowl game. He hasn't actually decided to transfer or not. Georgia's having to not only recruit the young high school players, but now they have to recruit within their locker room. And you can say that not only for Georgia, but also for Miami, who they have a lot of players that either can leave or transfer elsewhere, just like a Jaron Williams, who decided to transfer after a Malik Rozier. He's graduating, but then you have N'Kosi Perry, who didn't play great as a redshirt freshman. Going into his redshirt sophomore season, Jaron could have stayed unless he just felt like he's never going to get an opportunity to play, even if there's a quarterback competition, which there should be. And I think probably the biggest thing, the last two things, Texas A&M under Jimbo Fisher, number 3 in the country so far, and we have a long way to go until early January on the actual national signing day. But for me, that's huge, because he came in, he's set the culture up, and he's doing what he did at Florida State, but now he has the resources of College Station in his hands. And they didn't have a terrible season. They didn't have a great season, but they didn't have a terrible season. And good old Bear Bryant, his grandson is now at Alabama, Paul Tyson, one of the top quarterbacks in the country. He has decided to sign on to the family business, I should say. So this will be a very interesting one. How much pressure will he be under, especially coming in? You're coming in with Tua Tagovailoa's little brother, he's committed, but he hasn't signed on the dotted line yet. So how much will that affect his decision? I mean, his family moved all the way here from Hawaii. I don't think he would, not go to Alabama, but I've seen stranger things.
All right. So there you have it. That's what happened in early signing day, man. It's time. Let's move over to some NFL stuff. You guys out there, you probably heard me say something to Gus about changing my pick for the Carolina and Falcons game, and that's because Cam Newton will be inactive for this game, and most likely they'll be shutting Cam down for the remainder of the season, which for the Panthers is only going to be one extra week from now, but still, he's still dealing with the shoulder soreness. Not really sure, not really 100% if he's going to have to, if this is going to result in off-season surgery, but Cam is going to be most likely shut down. They keep saying most likely because if there's any way that coming into Week 17 they're still alive for a playoff bid, I believe that they're gonna trot him out there and play him. But without Cam playing, like what do you think their prospects are of even making it a Week 16 alive, let alone going into 17 with a chance to make the playoffs? They need a lot of stuff to happen.
If an if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. There is no chance. There is no chance. First off, you have to survive the 10th best offense in the league with a 1,400-yard receiver, and yet this team is still just a middling 5-9 team. So that tells you a ton, and yet you want to keep up in a shootout. I mean, your defense is going to be on the field a lot because you're punting the football, and at some point that's going to be a problem. And the Falcons kind of got healthy on defense, maybe at the wrong time because they're kind of out of it. So I don't see it. I don't see the prospects of the Panthers making the playoffs. If he did come back at some miraculous way, they became the 85 Bears and they just put on a defensive clinic, and he had a chance to come back, I think the results would be a lot of the same of what we've seen over the last couple of weeks. Cam is just banged up, man. He can't throw a football farther than maybe 10, 12 yards with any real velocity.
Yeah, and, velocity is Cam's thing. Like, he doesn't always know exactly where the ball is going to go, but he always throws it hard. So if Cam Newton doesn't have that, then he's not really Cam Newton. So let's go to stay in the NFC with another team that's having almost the exact same situation, and that's my Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz was ruled out of last week's game versus the Rams, and he also had a designation of most likely being shut down for the rest of the season. But just like the Carolina Panthers, the team refuses to put the guys on IR because I think everybody's holding out hope. Of course, Carson Wentz is not a shoulder situation. It actually has a broken vertebrae in his back. This was actually Carson Wentz 2 weeks ago after the game when he found out.
Mike, were you really sick this week? What was the problem?
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that? You broke
back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
Spinal. So, just like clockwork. And I think the Eagles pretty much were, open to keeping him out of last week's game because nobody, probably including the Eagles themselves, thought that they had much of a shot to beat the Los Angeles Rams. Enter Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles. Offense looks much better. They go out put some points on the board, get in front of the Rams, and hold on for a victory. Defense played a little bit better until, the frantic time came when they had to hold off a comeback. So now you have the chatter. Nick Foles goes out, he wins the biggest game of the year, one of the 2 games that no one gave them a chance of winning in the first place. The first game being the Saints game, and then there was this game. I think pretty much a lot of people were down on them as far as this week was concerned as well, but now there's more optimism to beat the Houston Texans because they did go into LA for the second year in a row and take care of the Rams, this time as a huge 13-point underdog. So the chatter is here, Fred. What are your thoughts on the chatter? A lot of people are saying, man, Nick Foles could come in and light that fire again and get lucky and somehow get this team into the playoffs and make another run. And then you have some people that deal in extremes, and they're saying Nick Foles is a better quarterback for this team than Carson Wentz. What say you?
This was tough because Nick Foles does everything. He makes the right play. He doesn't kill you, and he gets a little funky with it every now and then. He knows he's that guy. He's a bottom barrel starter in the league, and that's saying a lot because we've seen Nathan Peterman start in this league, so I don't want to disrespect the man by calling him Nathan Peterman, but he's a bottom 32 starter. So the Eagles have one of those situations where they're in good hands. The offense doesn't have to change because Nick Foles is. He doesn't have great wheels. He doesn't even have Carson Wentz's torn ACL wheels, but he has decent enough wheels, and he's a decent enough athlete that if you do want to keep the offense in place, a large portion of it doesn't have to change. Right. I think the issues go beyond the quarterback position. The issues are on defense, what I call the bomb squad. Demaryius Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins, the cyborg, and Deshaun Watson are going to be the problems the Eagles have. Don't worry about scoring points. You'll be able to score points. As long as you don't go at that J.J. Watt guy, go the other way, you'll be fine. But the problem is going to be on the defense, on the back end. It's the back end to be particular, because you can get after Deshaun Watson. The offensive line isn't great for the Texans. So
see, that was the whole thing, Fred, all season with Carson Wentz. The offense showed its ability to score points, but it was always in the second half, always when they were down. Last week was it was refreshing to see, then they not get down in the first half because they were able to put some points on the board in the first half. For me, I'm mostly in agreement with you. Like, Carson Wentz is a better quarterback than Nick Foles. Now, the situation here, like Carson Wentz, I think, like, they don't have to. You were right about not having to change the offense much because he knows the system and he can pretty much do everything. But what I think they do when Nick Foles comes into the fray, they're not putting that franchise quarterback type pressure on him, and they're not trying to. Carson Wentz is kind of a dynamic talent where you're asking him to do a whole lot. Nick Foles, he's a different kind of backup where you're still asking him to do some quarterbackly things. I just made that word up, quarterbackly things. You're not just asking him to manage the team, but you tend to get more balanced when he's there. The running game gets sparked a little bit more before Doug Peterson gives it more of a chance before he gives up on it and he scraps it. Nick Foles, I don't know. It's just something about him, as much criticism as he's taken over the years from Eagles fans, from national fans, from everybody once you went to Jeff Fisher's system. Like, I give him a pass on that because Jeff Fisher is the quarterback ruiner. But throughout all of that, at least in a green uniform, all this guy does is win. All he does is win. Like the first season that he jumped onto the scene with the 27 touchdowns and the 2 interceptions. Got them to the playoffs. Hey, in the playoff game against the Saints, left the field with a lead. It's on you, defense. Go get them. Defense couldn't hold on to it. The year that Chip Kelly basically gave up on him because he was never quite his guy before he got injured and Sanchez had to come in and ruin the rest of the season, Nick Foles was 6-2. He comes back, puts the team, in position with the team already in position, but with the world thinking that, it's impossible now, they're done, leads this team to a Super Bowl victory. So it's like in a green uniform, all this dude does is win. So he makes the situation a little bit more optimistic. I'm not one who thinks, of course I think it's in the realm of possibility, but I don't think the Cowboys are going to lose their last 2 games because we all know how it flips. If they lose their last 2 and the Eagles win their last 2, the Eagles actually steal the division. So I still think we're in this to fight for the wild card spot that some teams like, the Vikings and Seahawks are still leaving open to lowly teams in the NFC East, like the Eagles and the Washington professional team. Like they're still mathematically involved in this whole thing. And never in my wildest dreams did I think the NFC East would even have a possibility going into Week 16 to have 2 teams enter into the NFC playoff race. So I don't know, man. I told you on Cover 2 that looking at this thing long term, like maybe a week or 2 ago, just looking at the rest of the season and what the prospects were, Carson Wentz, Nick Foles, whoever was back there, I always thought we had a chance to beat the Texans. I thought we had no chance to beat the Rams. See, but I'm such a, I've grown up an Eagles fan. I'm so pessimistic. At this point, I'm like, all right, we beat the Rams. So now we're due to choke, even though I thought Houston and Washington could have been wins. They're going to choke somewhere along the line. And what would be the worst thing ever is to actually beat Houston and then choke against Washington. That would be, that's like wrist-slitting type stuff right there.
Yeah, but, that's when you're getting into very dangerous territory. For me, when I look at you guys, the only thing I worry about is it's the secondary. I would actually be okay with everything about this team if that secondary wasn't the bomb squad and you weren't playing the teams that are able to. Deshaun Watson can extend plays, and you see the improvement with Demaryius Thomas, who people act like he's ancient, and he's only like 31 at this point. He's not old. He's still a capable football player. I don't see where the disconnect is. And also DeAndre Hopkins is going to have a field day with you guys. Just so you understand that.
Then the fact that Deshaun Watson can extend plays, the Eagles secondary have trouble guarding on, a bang-bang 2-3 second play. So imagine how it's going to look when Deshaun Watson is out scrambling outside of the pocket and moving receivers around as he's doing it. It's going to be a disaster. I mean, you saw what Dak Prescott did too. He had his, even though, the eye test will tell you if you were looking, he had some terrible moments in that game. It wasn't all great, but he had the best statistical game of his life a few weeks ago because of his ability to extend plays. So, it's going to be rough sledding, but everybody's shocked with this win, and everybody has that Nick Foles fever going on right now, even though, 3/4 of Philadelphia never believed in him until he proved them wrong last season. Maybe he'll be the quarterback of your team next season, Fred, because from what I hear, Tom Brady, by a lot of accounts, the GOAT, I hear he's falling off a cliff. I hear the decline is finally imminent. I hear that Tom Brady is no longer an alien. They said he's really human under all of that stuff. What's going on?
Man, I mean, it's crazy. I hear this. I swear I hear this. I have to defend this like at least once a year. And it feels like this year I've had to defend it more than normal. It's, Tom Brady's falling off the cliff. Belichick can't coach anymore. What are they doing? For me, when I look at this team, we always say the lifeblood of any team is the fat boys up front, and especially for any quarterback. When you lose your left tackle, you put in essentially a rookie who has never played any real meaningful snaps. Your tackles aren't great. Your running game has been mediocre, inconsistent. And then you have a Josh Gordon come in who you think, oh, this is going to be great. And then you get the news today that dropped, and my heart sank. It hit the floor. I remember those moments where I remember where I was. All of these things happened. I remember I was in the middle. For those of just to pull back the curtain, I'm a teacher in my daily life when I'm not doing this, and I'm in the middle of a class teaching my class. My phone goes off. I'm wondering what's going on, and I walk over to my desk after I've finished giving instructions, and I see Josh Gordon suspended indefinitely. And I said, "Oh, this is going to be." He can't stay off the stuff. So you have your top receiver who came in after 5 games and is almost receiver on the team, and even he has that Randy Moss effect. I'm not saying he's Randy Moss, folks. He has the Randy Moss effect. He draws coverages to himself. He can get double coverages to himself. All of these things help Tom Brady with the Josh Gordon, but when you have all of the issues up front, the running game's not there, then you have a leaky defense that just looks slow and unathletic. You're not seeing the blue chip prospects. There's a lot of different things. Brady's had a couple of YOLO balls this year, especially the one against the Steelers. But I'm sorry, I don't see the zips still there. He still looks like he wants to be there. He's not going through the motions. It's not that type of situation where he just doesn't want to do this. But the pieces around you make you look a lot better than what you are. And even as good as Tom Brady is, even he can't overcome average players.
Well, I'll tell you what I see. But first of all, before I do that, tell your man Josh.
Stay away from the crack, which I think is pretty good advice, unless you can manage it socially, Dan. If you can manage it socially, then go for it. But not a lot of people can,
And Josh Gordon is one of them. And we'll talk about that in a second. What I see with Tom Brady and the Patriots, like you said, this is something that we see every year. Usually it's in the beginning of the year. Patriots may lose 2 of their first 4 games or something. Everybody said, oh, the dynasty's over. The run is over, blah, blah, blah. And then the Patriots end up in the damn Super Bowl again. At this point in your life, at this point in your life, when you're 38 plus, and Tom Brady's 41 years old now, every bad game you have has to be examined, has to be surgically examined, as Father Time knocking on your door. We know it. It's hot takes, the pundits, they got to go to extremes at all times. So I laugh at it every season as well as you do, because you kind of know what the results are going to be. However,
Brady trash.
Always mentioning that Brady is 41 years old. So at some point, and I know a lot of people like this, who don't know a damn thing about sports, but they make the same predictions every year. And at some point, if you make the same prediction for 7, 8, 9, 10 years, at some point your ass got to be right. At 41 years old, could this just be okay? It's the trials and tribulations of the season. They're bored, and then we'll see them turn it on again for the playoffs, and then they're right back in it. But like I said, I cannot ignore that the man is 41 years old.
He trash.
Maybe this is it, but I'm one of those people.
The trolls coming out.
I'm not going to believe it. No, I'm not going to believe it until I actually see it. I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to see the thought process of some of the people that jump right to that every time a man throws a bad pass. Maybe that's what's going on. I'm not sure. He's old as hell.
I haven't watched one Patriot snap in 2 years, right? But I can tell you this: someone sent me a clip of a pick he threw this past week, and it might have been the single worst pass I ever seen him or anybody else.
YOLO pass. YOLO pass. That was a YOLO pass.
And so
I've never
on
seen Tom Brady do anything like that.
Based on that one play, his squad is done. And I've been waiting for
That's
this day.
true, though, because
I've been waiting for this
Jimmy's
day for so
seen
long
that
for
pass
him to
before,
go.
but he's seen that pass from Brett Favre. At least when Brett Favre does it, his arm is so strong, it doesn't look as bad as what Tom Brady did the other day.
There's no pass ever thrown worse than that.
Sadly, in real time, I'm thinking, Brady, who are you trying to throw this to? It looked like he was trying to go to Gronk, but honestly, I think he was trying to throw it out of bounds, but to avoid. He was off his back foot. It was so many things wrong with that play that I'm not gonna lie, I got a kick out of it because I'm telling you, once he's going and Belichick's going, then I want to see all these so-called, not you, Fred, but I want to see all these so-called Patriots fans if they really are Patriots fans. Because I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of people, like, shifting squads. Oh, I know.
Oh, they're going to be jumping off that joint like the Titanic. They're going to be holding on to little wooden pieces frozen in the water.
I'm praying Josh McDaniels stays around. I'm praying. The dream scenario was Josh McDaniels and Jimmy Garoppolo, but that never happened. So
at this point, don't you think he has to though? Because he turned down another job, and rumors of that was because he was promised the job once Belichick leaves, and I really can't see Belichick starting over under a new young quarterback.
No,
so I think when Tommy goes, he's pretty much gonna go. We'll see. He's gonna be out here. He's gonna be looking like Popovich.
Honestly,
the game passing by.
Honestly, I think
talking about how the game corny now.
I think Popovich switched the whole thing like, the game corny now. It ain't me. Everybody else corny.
Yeah, he did. He completely flipped it. I think you have it backwards. I think Belichick's been trying to push Brady out for the last few years and have Jimmy Garoppolo because he saw when Brady was out for those 4 games a couple years ago, we got to see a little bit of a.
Now that didn't
Jimmy's
happen,
gone, man.
Ain't no more Jimmy's though. Ain't no more Jimmy's though. That's the problem.
Gone.
Yeah,
Jimmy's gone, so he don't have time.
That has
Jimmy got sold.
him though. But he doesn't have anything to do with it. Now that was all Mr. Kraft. That was Mr. Kraft. I'm sorry.
Let me ask you a question, Fred. As a fan though, right? When he tried to make that move to push Brady out and keep the machine rolling with Jimmy, whose side did you fall on? Do you wish, in retrospect, they would have allowed him to do so? Or are you a Brady guy where you rather Brady just, go down with the ship like Kobe?
After that pass, he probably wished he was on Belichick's
I believe in the Patriot way, and the Patriot way is we get rid of you a couple years early.
Even Tommy.
Keeping you. Yeah, Tom's my guy. He's been my guy for
nobody's
years.
exempt from that?
Nobody.
Damn, even Tommy?
I'm with the machine. I'm with the machine because I've seen the process. I've seen the process over and over.
I respect that answer though because I remember when Kobe signed that last contract and I said, that's a bad deal. Like people got mad. Like Kobe's the greatest Laker of all time. And I said, look, that may be true, but
he got his money.
You're talking about,
you paid him for that.
If you're talking about winning a championship, he's blocking that at this point. So I kind of understand that, but sometimes, like, when you're that much of a legend, you get to, go down with the ship.
It's going to get to that point with LeBron, too. I mean, it's really going to – when it gets bad, it's really going to be bad.
I mean, but they don't owe him anything. I think the Lakers don't owe him nothing.
Difference with LeBron is Kobe was one of the deadliest scorers of all time. I think LeBron James could do so many other things that he can affect the game in different ways that Kobe probably could have been. He just does. He affects the game in different ways. So LeBron didn't average 27, 7, and 7, but he could give you, 15, 9 and 8. Like that's still a productive player.
Yeah,
like
if LeBron starts to feel his decline coming on, LeBron could just go see Akeem. He could go see Akeem Olajuwon, learn over the summer, get his big ass in the post, and play another 10 years. He'd be all right.
Or you can just say, I'm going to call it quits and go watch my son once my son makes it.
That too. But see, here's the thing about that, though. When you watch basketball,
they got to play together first.
It's by the time that happens, it's going to be illegal to post up because they are legislating the post game out of the game. Like, so it's almost illegal to post up. You post up, it's just like
every time. If you aggressively try to get position in the lane, you are going the other way because that whistle is blowing.
And I miss the old days because I love watching the Warriors. I call the Warriors style of basketball. It's nowadays beautiful basketball because I love the passing, but I love the post game. I mean, that's the one thing. Even for guards.
Post game beautiful, man, because it show that footwork. But you know what, Jimmy? So the fact that Jimmy reminded me of that, I was wrong. It ain't about LeBron learning how to post to get 10 more years. All you got to learn to do is shoot a 4-point shot, because that's coming.
There you go. Get your range together. But you know what, Fred, though? The post game I think both are beautiful when they work, right? So when the Warriors are on and they're past to Chris and the three is falling, it's like, yo, it's amazing. But when you watch like a Pete Newell coach team, like that Sacramento team that almost beat the Lakers, when you watch them at their peak, the way they play the post game and they cut, that was a thing of beauty too. So I think both things can be beautiful when they're working. But it's like a lost art. But when you watch that, I'm pretty sure both of you guys saw at least some of that that basketball, history of basketball. What's it called? History of basketball? That ESPN.
Watching it piecemeal.
But when you watch those old clips from back in the day, when the game was moving so slow, it's like things just progress. Like things progress, and you know, some of the guys that watched that old 1950s Celtics ball probably looked at the 80s game and said it was too brutal. Because like when the 80s came around and stuff that we love, people say, yo, this is football. Because they was out there just like, you know, it was. Some people considered that too physical.
Yeah, guys getting their head taken off. Yeah.
Yeah, the 80s is disrespectful to the game. I ain't gonna front.
Yeah, even the 90s though. Listen, a lot of times people tell me that basketball it used to be beautiful. I say, okay, go watch the Knicks Heat series and tell me that the game was beautiful back in the 90s when it was 58 to 60. And tell me 80s, how beautiful that was.
The 80s were brutal, but I think the beauty was still, you know, they were still scoring points. I think the beauty of the 80s was in the fast break, especially with your team, the Lakers. There was a lot of fast break basketball. The 90s kind of slowed it down with a lot more ISO ball in the 90s.
The hero ball.
Because of the ball. Mike, he said Mike ball. So he bought that. So now,
but you want to watch something ugly? When ESPN Classic shows like a Heat Knicks game from like the Pat Riley days when he was on either side of that, yo, you talk about something ugly?
The exciting part about that is you knew. The most exciting part about that is you knew that a rumble could break out at any given moment.
Somebody was getting in a fight.
So that's what you was waiting for.
Yeah.
Like somebody, even though basketball players can't fight, but somebody gonna get stole. So real quick, Fred, before we finish up this football talk, you mentioned it when you were talking about Brady, but your man can't get right, aka Josh Gordon. I don't know. When I first heard the report, they were trying to play it as if it was his decision, and then I saw afterwards the suspension come down.
I saw that.
I saw the reports where Josh Gordon was out there talking about, I need to get my head together. Mental illness is this and that, and I'm like, okay, it seems like maybe he did relapse. I'm thinking that in my mind, but he caught himself and decided to make a mature decision. And then a couple hours later, it was like, well, he's indefinitely suspended. I'm like, oh, Josh, you fooled me.
Yeah. They tried to spin it right for him. They tried to do right by him, but he can't leave the alcohol alone. He can't leave the marijuana alone. And, when I hear it goes beyond football.
Stay off the weed.
This is one of his quotes. He said, I take my mental health very seriously at this point to ensure I remain able to perform at the highest level. I recently felt like I could have a better grasp on things mentally. With that said, I will be stepping away from the football field for a bit to focus on my mental health. I would like to thank Coach Belichick, Mr. Kraft. He thanked a bunch of other Patriots and said, as I continue down the path to getting back to 100%. So I'm reading this earlier like, okay, he's making a mature decision. He may have made an immature decision to get to his mature decision. And then, like I said, I hear, well, he violated his probation. He violated his reinstatement terms It violated the substance abuse policy. And I'm like, oh, come on, son. You got busted again. You just tried to preempt the situation.
He got in front of it before the other.
Yeah.
They got in front of it with those kind of things. It was an A for effort. And for me, when I look at it, I say this is beyond football. You know, hearing the stories of this man was drinking, he was literally before games drinking Grand Marnier, sitting there like, oh, this go down smooth. I need this right here before I.
Jim, he like your man from Playmakers. He like Omar Gooding from Playmakers. My man had his dealer meet him in the tunnel at halftime.
Yeah,
he used to do heroin off the trash can.
That show was fire.
Man, that show
crazy.
was
you can't find that nowhere now. Like NFL had that thing.
NFL, But it's funny they did that to Playmakers, and they can't do that to some of these videos that's getting them more flack. I know Kareem Hunt, like y'all could have Playmaker my video. Ray Rice.
The crazy part about Josh Gordon is, I honestly feel sorry for the brother because it stopped being funny because now you realize that this dude really has a problem for one. And two, I'm surprised this doesn't happen more, and it probably does. We just don't know about it. But in the world we live in, when all these young boys seem to be drug addicts on some sort of opioid, I'm surprised this doesn't happen more. But I mean, I hope he gets his life together because there's still life after football, dog.
Yeah, there's life after. See, and I think too, and I like the fact that he's taking responsibility versus before. You're hanging out with Johnny Manziel. That's a great idea. That was the greatest idea in the world. But now it kind of shows the maturity. Yeah, you messed up, but you were accountable for it. Now you got a day for trying to get out in front of it.
Now you're going a bit too far in my opinion. Because
I'm trying to put him in a good light.
We got to see how this plays out. Like, at this point, he had no choice but to accept responsibility for it. Like Dev said, he knew it was coming down the pipe. So, I mean, time will tell how serious he takes it, because he's apologized before and said that we've heard the I got to work on me type situation, but I guess the best thing I can say is you show us through your actions. You can say whatever you want to say.
Mm-hmm. I will say too, you can't patriot way your way onto a guy like that. You can't say, oh, he has to follow the Patriot way about an addiction. You can Patriot way a guy about maybe going out too much, or you can't go gambling or something like that. You can do that because you can put that structure around him. But this is a whole different beast. I mean, this is something that he needs somebody that maybe has gone through something like this and has come out on the other side of it and kind of have some kind of mentor. Something needs to happen where that way he doesn't have that, going down that real dark path.
Pray for the brother Josh. That's all I got to say, man. I mean, he's talking like he's coming back. It would seem to me that he's pretty much done in the NFL. Like, how old are you going to be by the time you come back? And I don't know, man. It's a crazy situation. All right, so Fred, real quick, we're not going to go through the rosters. If anybody wants to go through the whole rosters and all that kind of stuff, y'all can listen to Cover 2 when that's posted. But before we finish up on your segment, just tell us who some Pro Bowl snubs are. Some people you think got snubbed for the Pro Bowl.
Darius Leonard was the number one on that one for me, over 140 tackles for the Colts, middle linebacker out of
rookie. They try to make him earn his stripes. They like, come on, Rook.
Yeah.
We're not putting you in the game, Rook.
Yeah, that's a snub for me. I probably have to say Alvin Kamara, but if I'm gonna and I'll just leave it at that. If you want to know why I say Alvin Kamara, go listen to Cover 2. But that's a legitimate, like, it's a legitimate concern. But then you look at how crowded, the backfield is, because I think Kamara and McCaffrey should definitely be Pro Bowlers. But then you think, all right, then who are you going to take out? Zeke? Who are you taking out?
Quan Barkley, or who's the third?
Saquon. It was Zeke, Saquon, and Todd Gurley. So yeah, who are you taking out of there?
So like, who the hell?
Yeah, who are you taking out of there?
I guess since I'm an Eagles fan, take Zeke out, but I'm hating.
But he's also leading the league in rushing yardage.
He was getting MVP consideration earlier in the season, so it's like you can't take him out. But Alvin Kamara is kind of like the engine that makes that Saints offense go. It's crazy. It's crazy. So it's hard to call snubs there, but at the same time, it's like all right, somehow you got to find a way to get these dudes into the game. Andrew Luck should be.
Tom Brady has no business being in that thing at all. None.
Andrew Luck should be in the Pro Bowl. Tom Brady should be sacking his old ass down somewhere. Andrew Luck will be in the Pro Bowl because he was named an alternate, and Tom Brady's not going to play in the Pro Bowl. Probably because he's going to end up in the Super Bowl again. I'm not going to give you that. Or his old ass is going to say, I don't feel like doing this no more. I don't have anything to prove. I don't even like these young boys, so I don't need to be hanging in Orlando with them all week. So either way, Andrew Luck is going to be in there. But, people always talk to me about Donovan McNabb. Oh, he's a 6-time Pro Bowler. Yeah, but about good 3 or 4 of those times he was an alternate and got in because somebody didn't feel like playing. So I don't think that's the 100% most honorable way to get into the game, but I do think in this case, Luck deserved to be there. So I guess it won't be as bad when Brady decides that he's not going to play. Anybody else before we finish up on this?
Aaron Rodgers and his one interception. Yeah, I'm calling out the God. I'm calling them out.
Metal.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but you have one interception, and I'm sorry, you have 2 interceptions now because you had that streak broken. But I'm sorry, but how is it that you either throw it out of bounds or you make a decent throw? You have the most yardage amongst all quarterbacks on throwaways. Because simply, it's not there. It's not the perfect throw, so I'm not going to throw it. It could be a throw.
So you're saying Aaron Rodgers is the throwaway king now because he doesn't want to turn the ball over. So instead of throwing the ball into harm's way, like his predecessor, he throwing stuff away instead of trying. There's something to be said there. Because you look at that, Jimmy. What do you think is worse? What do you think is worse, Jim? Because I know you've had a lot of criticism for Favre throughout his career, or at least the end of it. What's worse, throwing it away to keep your stats right, or recklessly thinking you can make every damn throw and tearing your stats apart?
Favre is still worse, and Favre was trash his whole career, not just the end. But I think Favre is worse. I think Favre is worse because, I don't know if it's completely evident that Aaron Rodgers is doing that, but there's nothing worse.
Not
than
the
football.
first time I've heard it though. It's going around.
But you also got to understand that Fred.
But people also exaggerate
Fred,
what Russell Westbrook does when he gets triple double.
But Fred,
once people start
you got to understand. But people that hate Russell Westbrook is because they love someone else, and that's similar to Fred. Fred has been known to criticize Aaron Rodgers. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Fred has been known to criticize Aaron Rodgers because what he's doing is he's sideways bigging up his guy. So you got to take that with a grain of salt. But at the same time, the worst thing you can do in football, is to have a turnover. There's nothing worse than a turnover.
True that. All right. So we'll see. We'll ask around. We'll get some people's opinions on this to see what everybody thinks. See what's worse. Because a lot of people think he's stat padding a little bit. But then, sometimes the smart thing to do is to throw it away. So it could become a situation where, some of these things, he might be making the exact right decision, but now that that's in people's heads, they're going to start accusing him of other stuff. But Fred, man, we appreciate you always holding us down, man. Held us down on this football segment, college and professional. Like I told you guys, you could check out Fred and myself, mostly Fred on Quick Slants because he's the college football guru. I'm just the dude who sets them up and throws the alley-oops. But on Cover 2 with McMillan and Purdue, that's the NFL show. You guys can check that out as well. Just check out both of them on the War Room Sports YouTube page. But we appreciate it, good bruh.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on, man. Hey, I'm just letting you know. Cover two might be having a few guests. So, Deb, be on the lookout. I got some Christmas gifts for the people.
All right. Just let me know when Joe Montana coming, and I'll hook it up. So, all right, man. We'll wrap to you next week.
All right, guys.
All right, Fred. Peace.
No doubt. Fred Purdue, everybody. The overall football man. You know, he's the college football guru, but the dude lives and breathes and probably football. All right. Real quick before we get into some other stuff, y'all know what the deal is. Y'all can check out our website at worldroomsports.com. But, you know, if you want to holler at us and speak to us about any of today's topics, you can dial the Digital Extreme Tech hotline at numbers 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted, but if you're already listening from your phone, just press 1 if you want to talk. See, we got some callers on the line. Just hold tight real quick. Let us introduce this next segment, and we will get to those phone lines. And while y'all were on the grind, it's brought to you by Sports the Book. If you guys are tired of reading the same old sports books with the same lists, rankings, LeBron, Jordan, Kobe comparisons, imaginary starting lineups, which one of these teams will beat this team, all that bullshit, all that subjective information that's being passed off as facts these days, be sure to pick up your copy of Sports. It's an acronym, folks, so stay with me. Smart people only read the sports. It's a mixture of sports and hip-hop culture, because that's what we grew up on. It'll keep you on the edge of your seat and it'll keep you laughing like you're watching a comedy special. And it's written by War Room Sports' very own Jimmy the Blueprint. So if you want to get your copy, just go to sportsthebook.com. Get your copy from our website at warroomsports.com. Wherever you get your copy from, just make sure you get your copy. That's all we got to say on the matter. All right. While y'all were on the grind, Monet Davis, y'all might remember her from the Little League World Series a few years ago when she was throwing heat for that team from Philadelphia. She's going to Hampton University, and she's going there to play softball. Yes, she's still a basketball aficionado. She wants to be a point guard, but she had an ankle injury, reportedly, about a year and a half ago, which kind of diminished all of the offers, or at least the looks that she was getting from schools as far as basketball is concerned. So I have no doubt whatsoever, no doubt in my mind that, you know, once she gets down to Hampton, even though she'll be on scholarship for softball, I'm pretty sure she can walk onto that basketball team. You know, from all accounts, she has some skills, but man, that's a small black HBCU at the very least. You know, you throw her on any damn team she want to get on, because that'll get you some of the much needed publicity that you need for some of these programs. Jim, what was your thoughts when you heard that she was going to an HBCU?
I completely support HBCUs. All of us are products of HBCUs. I was happy about it. I think it's an amazing opportunity. I wish more of ours would go to HBCUs, but I understand why not. When you get offers from these schools and they show you those facilities, like
they show you the facilities and they show you the bag.
I've seen Duke's campus, and it's like, how do I say no to this? But
they weight room better than their whole arena.
They weight room better than my dorm. But can I sleep in? I'd rather sleep in their weight room. But seriously though, if you understand history and the reason that HBCUs exist, then you can't help but to feel proud that she chose to do this. It also makes me realize just how damn old I'm getting. Like, she went through high school. Like, I remember it felt like it was yesterday she was in the Little League World Series. Yeah, now she's on campus, and the young fellas at Hampton, man, y'all gotta chill, because I've been on Hampton's campus, and I know how y'all young men down there act. They're gonna be trying to get a match. They're gonna try to get a match on their belt.
Yeah, remember her? She was on the magazine. Yeah.
Shout out to our brothers that went to Hampton. We got a lot of homies that went to Hampton. The Tissue and the Tape Boys, they Hampton dudes, right?
No doubt. So make sure y'all.
Half our group chat is Panther.
Y'all need to go down there and talk to y'all young boys, man. Go down there and do some community service, man.
We gotta protect Monet, man.
Yeah, man. New hashtag, protect Monet.
It's definitely dope, though, man. I think it's dope, man. And I always wanted to see like the Fab Five or like this Duke freshman class, somebody go and kind of revolutionize, college basketball by everybody, even if it's another school. Like I don't care who it is, whoever they do, it'll be my squad. Like,
right. I mean, because what they do now is not from bad intentions. You're just not going to find a 17-year-old that with the kind of impact that we're talking, that's woke enough. You know what I'm saying? And you could be as woke as can be, but like you said, once you show these people the facilities and just the buildings and just all the perks of playing at a big program, it's very difficult to have you somewhere catching buses to most of your games and, going into cafeteria to go better than your kitchen at your crib. It's difficult to sell that to these dudes who could be going to the Dukes and the Carolinas.
But we know the
like
experience of the HBCU. The experience of
right.
HBCU is like no other. I think
you become a better person, a better adult coming out of them.
I only applied to HBCUs, and I basically went to the one that gave me the most bread. But I only applied to like Howard, Hampton, Lincoln. I only applied to HBCUs.
I applied to all of them plus Temple. That you had to apply to Temple. Crazy part is, Temple was like everybody's safe school. I don't think Temple accepted me. I was like, how do you not get accepted to Temple when you're from Philly? I didn't think that was possible.
I don't even remember, but I think everybody applied to Temple at safe school because it's like right in the city. But
I thought Temple, you could just make the decision to go there, and you just go there.
You know why? Because we take Temple for granted because it's like it's in the city. Like we pass it every day. It's on Broad Street.
But it's really a good school.
That's just, it's especially now. Now they they really got their weight up. But with that being said, though, man, this is a dope move, man. Like we'll see what happens. Even though she got there how she got there, I'm still glad she's there, and she has success in any sort of way. I hope that this sets it off.
I mean, but they said that the fact that it was historically black had something to do, with her doing there. Going there. They said her decision to attend the HBCU was partly inspired by the positive experience of her older friends, and she had kind of a what's wrong with me, man? Social awakening when she met President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama at the White House in 2014. And then when she was on a college tour in 2015, they had just gotten to Washington, D.C., and the news of the whole Dylann Roof thing broke and how he shot up a very historical black church, and that kind of stuff kind of hit her and weighed on her. So, they're claiming now that was a part of it. I'm still like, all right, but if UConn would have came calling,
that's fine. Okay.
But I'm gonna go with that.
She must be represented. She represented by Clutch Sports because that's a Clutch Sports story right there.
Yeah. Clutch put that together. Like, look, this is how we gonna
Clutch put that together. But that's a good story, man. Like, it indeed is true, man. Because like I said, it's a reason that these institutions exist. And I was reading something recently that said even to this day in 2018. There are more African American professionals that are HBCU graduates than anything else. Like, so, we can look at the crop that went to these big schools, but when it comes to like our professionals, our doctors, our lawyers, our top government guys, or whatever, a lot of them are HBCU products. Like, that's just
and the
what
funny
it is.
thing is, here in our house, when we're making our decisions of doctors, dentists, even like the insurance company branches that we go to, like that plays a big part. Like Brandy, she goes through the list of the network, and she goes to see what school they went to. All of our physicians and stuff are HBCU.
Same here, dog. All my physicians are HBCU, man. It is what it is, man. So salute to all the HBCUs out there, man. Keep putting our product. Despite what people think, and salute to Monet Davis too, man. She's from the crib as well, so wish her good luck.
Yeah, and can you imagine how, Hampton softball game is gonna be lit? I don't think anybody's ever attended a softball game. Like,
I ain't know Hampton
how
had
many
a
softball
team.
games have you attended? When you were at a black college?
None. None.
I don't know if they. I didn't even. I probably just now realizing that they even got softball teams. I ain't know about.
Yo,
softball.
you know what's crazy?
I knew about the volleyball
team
team.
in college.
Volleyball team.
It worked the same.
Tall
Man, because they was thicker than the Snicker.
Yeah.
Yo, it worked. It worked.
Yeah, they wore them little shorts that made it even more pronounced.
This is what I'm talking about. And this is before the fake cakes. It's all real cakes. But anyway, but it's funny when you look back at like high school and college, and you realize like how many different teams they had that you had no clue. Like they had swimming teams and volleyball teams and softball teams.
I told you I was mad like that. Like now that I get to see the game, I'm mad I never got a chance to play soccer. They ain't had that in the hood, but they had it at our school. But
all kinds of stuff that I didn't know about. But it is what it is, man.
Cricket. What kinds of bull? All right, so
you definitely would have got a scholarship. A black guy that played cricket.
Just because you could be garbage. We got another New Earth story. And if y'all haven't been paying attention, a lot of people in New Earth, it's a lot of trolls in New Earth. They like to wait till you are experiencing your life's greatest moment, and then they go dig up some dumb stuff that you said in the past. Chicago Bears, and some of y'all might not, y'all might not feel this one like y'all feel the other ones because of who it is and what she actually did and said. But Chicago Bears offensive lineman Charles Leno Jr., he proposed to his girlfriend Jennifer Ross right after they finished beating the Green Bay Packers in a big game. She comes out onto the field. He gets down on his knee in full Chicago Bear uniform, asks her to marry her. Happily ever after for about 6-7 hours. 6-7 hours later, the trolls came out. Jennifer Roth, the part I didn't tell you, is a white woman. Jennifer Roth has some tweets from back in the day where, she said some things that black people might not really take too well, even though, it's obvious she has an affinity for black people. So let me give you some of the tweets real quick, because, of course, some of her tweets had the quote-unquote N-word. One of the tweets from back in 2012, she said, "It's funny how black guys treat white girls on the campus. It makes me want to go back to talking to white guys." So basically, she was already admitting, I don't do nothing but black dudes, and but the way they treat the women on the campus, I might have to go back to Tanner and them. Another thing that they captured from back in the day, she said, B-words think they slick, but then they act like N-words. Damn, all my N-words took a loss tonight in the NBA. These hoes be acting up, and these N-words be letting them. She be going hard, yo. Another one, she allegedly tweeted, "Ghetto people are always naming their kids after stuff they can't afford. Mercedes, Diamond, Bentley, Pearl, light bill, rent, car insurance." That one was kind of funny. That one was kind of funny. Now, this is my thing, because I haven't delved too deeply into this story, Jim. I've seen photos of her, and until the trolls came out and started doing this, like, I had no clue that she was a white woman. So is she maybe mixed race? Or is she black and the trolls just don't even care because they're trying to stop us from having double standards? That's what I'm trying to that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, if anybody out there knows for sure, call us 323-410-0012, because she looks like she could be a light-skinned black woman to me. But then once I thought that she was white, I can look at her photos and see, like, oh, maybe she's mixed. But her skin tone doesn't just look like a pure white woman.
Yo,
so I'm
maybe
confused.
She got a little Dolezal. But either way, man, the moral of the story is, like, yo, the internet is forever. So just understand that. So those listening, go clean your stuff up right now before you do anything amazing in life.
Right.
And you're still not guaranteed. But I mean, that's crazy. I wonder, like, what's his reaction once that happens, at this point you dug in, doggy. But
you know what makes me believe that she is right, Jim? Because in her tweets, like if you look at a series of her tweets, she's always referring to them as black guys, as if she was an outsider.
Yeah.
Because if you're black, or even if you're half black, why would you always have to be on some I love black guys or black guys this? Because one of the tweets says Jimmy Butler got a win. LOL. Lost for Nash, Melo, and Griffin. Damn, all my N-words took a loss. And then it says, I love black guys or something. She said, I don't know if I love black guys because I love basketball or if I love basketball because I love black guys. So, yeah, she was like really, I guess she thought because, she got a little bit of pull from some black dudes that she could just say anything she wanted.
But
she don't remember slave masters used to, they used to do their thing with black women.
Because I find that often. Like, I find that often with both men and women. Like, I find a lot of times when, a guy is married to a black woman and he's a white guy, that he feels like he can say certain things and have certain conversations. And the other way around. Like, in this situation, I've actually come across that in life, and it's interesting to me because, just because you married someone doesn't give you this, what's the chick name that plays Meredith Grey? Ellen Pompeo, her name is, or whatever?
Yeah.
She gets criticized often because she has like a black husband and black kids, and she consistently tries to speak on black issues, and sometimes like she can go across, she can cross the line in saying some of the things she says. But I see
she be
that
trying to
often.
help though. She don't just be out there like my ninjas and my ninjas like this chick.
No, true, she does. But sometimes it comes off as like sometimes it can be taken as being like demeaning and like
slave mastery.
You have to chill with how you communicate things, and also sometimes because you're online, like tone matters, so and context matters. So,
I learned context. Like the great white hope type person. And
dog. Speaking of that, not to take it off subject, but you sent me a video this week that just made me feel completely stupid about the murder of Will Smith. Talking about context and story matters. That joint blew my mind.
That story made him look like a scumbag, and he dead. He got murked, and he looked like a scumbag. It made him look like a scumbag
because without digging into the story, I was like, all right, boy murdered him, is over with. Like, they got him, and another dude off the street doesn't kill and all. And I watched that joint like, I had no clue.
They just made, like, the easy stories just made dude just seem like a thug. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't want to, like, I'm trying to hold, like, I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but Will Smith, like, he initiated that whole situation.
Asshole.
Yeah, he initiated it. Yo, he was about to hit him with a hit and run. The ball was just trying to get like, he ball was going to run after he hit the dude's car. So
but that
is
story,
crazy.
Like, and for those who don't know what we're talking about, I believe it was Vice Sports has a video on YouTube, and it's about the death of Will Smith. But
matter of fact, we'll post it on our Facebook page either tonight or tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
If you just knew the outer workings of that story, this could change your whole perspective.
Yeah, but it made me think about that. We talk about how context matters and tone matters, and like everything is just not black and white. But anyway, getting back to her though, she's out of pocket. She's drawn. You can't say these kind of things. Everything lives forever. I don't know how Boy reacted to it, but I'd be interested to know. Like, and how does that play with your teammates too? When you go back in the locker room.
Right. And you didn't break up with her. They're like, damn, dog. That's how she be talking at home. You don't be telling her.
Yo, if your teammates don't troll you, that mean they really don't love you anyway. Because like, if you my homie, even if I'm cool with you still being with her, I gotta like say something, just to be funny.
Right.
If they don't cook you, if they ain't cooking the ball in the Bears group chat, the Bears ain't really a good team anyway.
But I still have to say, because even though I don't like some stuff you're saying, I still got to keep that same energy when we talk about these topics, man. There's some miserable people on this earth, man, because that is the latest trend. They literally wait to your grandest moment. You just got proposed to on national television after the Bears probably their biggest win of the season, and Somebody was like, ding, got her. I was waiting for a moment like this. Take her out of the equation. They got my man Kyler Murray as soon as he won the Heisman Trophy. They get,
got him.
Don't stand on a podium winning something that's the greatest thing you've ever done, because it's going to happen to you within 12 to 24 hours.
I was on Twitter on Sunday, and a bunch of stuff came from my timeline with the Steelers kicker and like him using the N-word and saying all kinds of crazy stuff back in the day, like in 2011 or something. I didn't even know what happened. I posted in the group chat like, he must have did something stupid. And Phil sent me a message like, yeah, he missed a kick that would have did something or another. I was like, yeah, they're digging up his old tweets. I'm like, yo.
That's crazy. They get you either way. You do something bad. You do something good. Like,
boy, online talking about Drake is soft fast.
That's why, like a lot of people, like even people that we know, or just a lot of people on social media, period. Like if they have something going like us, a small company, like all of their wins, like people chronicle their wins. And I'm like, all the talks that we have, in the background, and stuff that could be coming down the pike. That's why we never talk about that kind of stuff, because you throw our stuff out there, we're going to lose everything we got. So
pretty much. But this is why you got to live your life.
People start snitching, it's over.
You got to live your life like Cardi B. Cardi B is just like, she is who she is. And what you going to pull up from her? What you going to pull up when she is
Cardi B B-rabbited her whole life. Like, her whole life is a B-rabbit.
Pretty much.
Like, nothing you can say about me. All right, so let's get this, because that's what happened this week while you guys were on the grind. Quick birthday shout-outs. Shout out to David Wright, who turns 36. This is a baseball-heavy birthday as well. So shout out to David Wright, who turns 36. James Shields turns 37. Shout out to Roy Williams, formerly of the Dallas Cowboys, the wide receiver. He turns 37. David DeJesus, more baseball dudes. He turns 39. Shout out to him. Aubrey Huff, more baseball. He turns 42. Tim Hawk. Remember the safety, Tim Hawk? Who did he play for?
Yeah.
The Cardinals or somebody? Well, Tim Hawk is 52 years old, man. So we get old. Nate Newton turned 57 years old. Shout out to him. And rest in peace, shout out to Bobby Fields, we all know, formerly of the Charlotte Hornets. Died in that tragic car accident racing his Ninja Turtle friend. Who was their point guard? David Wesley, or Wesley, whatever his name was. Shout out to him. He was born December 20th, 1969. Tragically died January 12th, 2000. Also, R.I.P. to Branch Rickey, the white man that they, in the movie, they tried to make him out to be a superhero for getting Jackie Robinson into Major League Baseball. He was born December 20th, 1881, died December 9th, 1965. So he almost made it to another birthday before he kicked the bucket, but he did not. Shout out to all of these people on their birthdays. Salute. So real quick before we get into this NBA talk, what happened? Oh, you said,
a long life. You said 1887 to like
1881 to 1965. So
damn.
God blessed him for getting the little Negro boy into the major leagues. Blessed him with a long life. All right, before we get into this NBA talk, man, we're gonna hit the phone lines. Homie Rob been waiting for a while out in Cali. Rob, what's going on? Welcome to the War Room. What's up?
Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
Yo, man, it's your boy Rob, a.k.a. the Bedroom Boom. Yo, it's your boy Rob, a.k.a. call me the Gladiator, because we came to the Coliseum and we conquered. Yo, what's good, man? How y'all doing, man?
Hey, Rob, did you say the Bedroom Bully? Like you said the Bedroom Bully?
He said the Bedroom Bully. Yeah.
Yo, I don't know how that nickname plays in the Me Too era, man. You may have to change that nickname, dog.
Come on now, Mike Tyson.
You ain't bullying chicks in the bedroom, taking their yams? What's up, man?
Taking their yams. Hey, you can't take a gift. You can't take a gift, man. But that's all I gotta say. But anyways, man, How y'all doing,
you
man?
can't take
Rob be in the bedroom like.
That you can win this fight?
Are you talking out of turn?
No, I think we're all talking together.
I normally don't do interviews with women unless I fornicate with them. So you shouldn't talk anymore.
Yo! That's how you be bullying Rob.
Whoa. Hold on. Don't associate me with a convicted rapist. Hold up, man. No.
I'm a big, strong nigga that knocks out people and rapes people and rips off people.
You said it,
You
man.
called yourself the bedroom bully, dog. You got to watch that in 2018.
Are you kidding me, man? Yo,
all right, man. We know you was
doing ranks, man. Stop a ranks. Where's the Austin now? I need to make it, dude, man. Stop a ranks. Come on, man. Come on.
Listen, man. We wouldn't be good. We wouldn't be good friends if we didn't tell you not to stop doing that, man.
Oh, what the F, man? Man, I've been with 7. Never mind, man. All I say, man.
What's good?
Growing up as a kid, everybody has a dream. My dream as a kid was to own a monkey.
What the hell is that, man?
I have no idea.
Why come on like this? Listen to what y'all doing.
All right, go ahead, man. I'll hang up on you, man.
What's good, man? What's up, Rob? What's good, man?
2 seconds.
Yeah, but I'm chilling, man. I had my whole thing on, but y'all flew me off. But anyway, man, yo, the Eagles came and damn you, Dev. Yo, the Eagles came to the Coliseum. It was it looked off the chain. I was surprised, but it showed that we still have a good team, huh?
That's 2 years. That's 2 years in a row. You ain't go to the game when you had no faith. He's like, I ain't wasting no money on this ticket because they gonna get dogged.
Well, I go for a quote that you said a long time ago, and it stuck with me. You said something about if like watching a football game is really not as exciting. It's better to watch it from like your bedroom. You know,
that's true.
Football games is one of those things where you come home after the game and you're looking at the highlights or a replay or even just the box score, and you had no clue that some of this stuff went on. You're like, damn, he had that many yards? Because like in the stadium is not just like other things, basketball, hockey, and even baseball. Like it's good to be in the building for those, but football, it translates better to me at least over TV. So what do you think going forward? Because I saw you on social media with your Nick Foles praise. It took Nikki.
Hold up.
Nikki a lot to get you now. He had to make that apology last season after the Super Bowl, Jim. He no more negative talk with Nick Foles.
I mean, my nigga talk ended about Nick Foles, and Dan was like, Rob, I'm about to put you in a headlock and put you in a figure 4 or something. Dad wanted about me, yeah. But now,
so you think they're going to beat the Texans?
They have a fight. At this point, they need, after every practice, they need to watch Rocky 1 and Rocky 2 because it is solely impossible. I mean, I won't say impossible, but it's like, dude, they're injury rattled. It's going to take heart. And they're an injury rattled team. And it's going to take a lot of heart. I don't like the Dallas Cowboys. They're not going to win a division because I think even if the Dallas Cowboys lose every game and the Eagles win, the Dallas Cowboys still can win a division. I'm not sure. I think so.
No, the situation is the only chance the Eagles have is to win out and the Cowboys have to lose out. I don't think that's going to necessarily happen myself. So right now, if you have any hope, you're hoping that the two teams in wild card position right now falters, which is totally possible because the Seahawks got the Chiefs.
I really don't want the Eagles to go into the playoffs. I just want the Eagles to finish the season because we're so injured. I don't want any more players injured. Say the injury just for next year. But
It's the end of the season. Go to the playoffs and see what happens, and then go heal yourself. Why wouldn't you want to go to the playoffs?
Because there's a lot of players hurt. And I don't want to, get them hurt. I want to vest them because but I want to talk about what Jimmy said, what Jimmy been saying. I love Jimmy. The thing is when the Lakers. I mean, we put so much pressure on the players and now we're on the organization as far as the Lakers is concerned. It's like when people want to blame Kobe, but they don't want to blame Buzz for intentionally destroying the Lakers. I mean, yes, people can make the argument, okay, Kobe kept some talent away. Okay, I get that argument, but when he left, we got Luol Deng and Brook Lopez and overpaid them. You know, the same thing with LeBron. People said, like, well, LeBron's going to bring the banana boat coming over here, right? You know, LeBron's going to get all his friends to come, the super friends, right, to come over.
Yeah, the banana boat.
And when he came on the Lakers, when we came on the Lakers, everybody's saying, Kevin Durant came out saying, nobody wants to play LeBron, because they want to be in the shadow, which is true, with some extent, which is true. And we'll just wait and see what happens. Do I think the next off season? We'll see. But right now, I think it'll be idiotic for them to let go of Lonzo. First of all, shout out to what I'm saying, to the light skinned boy for getting a triple double. I think they need to. They need to find a way to utilize Lonzo's talent and let him be efficient. Defensively, like a lot of people say, even Dev giving praise for it, he will be Jason Kidd, and because they're both light skins, because their game is, you know what I'm saying? It's just that can he be efficient on the stage.
All right, Rob.
Oh, by the way, Duke is overrated. UNC, Zion Williams, we coming for your ugly ass, man. Okay?
Damn. All right, man. Thanks for your call. We'll tell all our Duke fans that, and we'll, see what they say back to you. But thanks for your call, man. We'll holler at you next week, good brother.
Yo.
Got it. All right. Let's
go. So speaking of Carolina, though, I just want to give a shout out to our family, Janice Richards, her son. I seen he signed today with North Carolina, so he's playing with the Tigers.
I did that earlier, but I let you know.
Oh damn,
Jimmy,
my bad.
No, but people don't know. Jimmy go way back with her as well. Like I told the people, we go way back to first grade with Janice. So it's exciting to see her excited because throughout the years we've always seen her become this sports mom. You know what I'm saying? They call it a soccer mom. The dude didn't play no soccer.
So he's going to Carolina, which is dope.
Right. It's paying off. So he about to be in that program. So, and I hope they gave her a bag because, Carolina give out bags. It's like, don't leave us out. Don't leave the good folks of the Philadelphia out. All right. That's
Tobias, man. I see you in the chat room trying slander the good brother, the bedroom bully, Matt Lauer, West Coast Matt Lauer.
Tobias is waiting on the line now. Tobias, what's going on, man? Roll down tide.
Hey, Nick, what's going on, fellas?
How you gonna follow up the bedroom bully?
Hey, man, I noticed that we got busy at work, so I didn't want to get my Charles Leno on. I had to play the game. So it looks like he's still going through that marriage to Miss Ann, huh? But anyway, so we're taking to Charles Leno. He set the Guinness Book of World Record of being the largest coon on earth. But anyway,
Friday.
Hey, couple of quick things. So I know you guys gotta get going.
Y'all, both of y'all do know that she probably real nasty in the bedroom though. Never mind. Let me shut up. Go ahead.
Hey, let's be honest about this guy.
This dude ain't bad eyes.
She probably talked like that around him. He was cool with it.
Yeah,
but
she probably called him that.
She nasty. Based on them tweets, she nasty.
She'd be like,
you know what? No, and like, you know what? You know what kills me? Now I'm not even an Eagles fan, you know, but it seems like when Nick Foles has a halfway decent game, they want to like, well, Alshon Jeffrey gets more looks than when he was Carson Wentz. Who gives a damn? You know,
Nick Madden.
People forget that Carson Wentz is still a young quarterback.
Oh yeah,
you're right. You're right now. Because as soon as the boy had a good game, you already knew what it was. I don't even know if the media did this, but I already knew what it was. Like, but you got to understand that they have to fill space, right? So they have to have hot takes and say certain things just to get the conversation going and keep it going all week. So, I mean, that's the world we live in. There's no way around that. Yeah. Which is why when you watch the NBA, people's entire legacy goes from game to game. If LeBron has a bad game, it's like he's not as good as Mike. And if LeBron has an amazing game, he's the greatest player ever. Like, people's entire, like James Harden, like all the good players in the league, their entire legacy gets made or broke game to game at this point.
You know what? And the thing is that Carson Wentz is the better quarterback, but people got to realize these guys are young. It takes these guys years before they pop. It took like Brady, Roethlisberger, those guys years before they popped in a good way. And it seems like once a backup comes in, what people don't realize about these backup quarterbacks, everything they do is house money. So if they have a good game, long as they don't wet the bed, it's all good. And then you get teams that can bring those guys in, and then you realize that why they're a backup quarterback in the first place, and the cycle keeps repeating itself. But
the Peterman just got a job.
That's what I'm saying.
Peterman.
Hey, Peterman could start on the flag football team, I think. But here's the thing. Also, and it's like I saw this story about like Anthony Davis, LeBron reaching, talking, and they talk about Anthony Davis going there. The question I want to ask is, one, if Anthony Davis, whenever he does leave, they should move the team to Seattle because of the dead market then in New Orleans. Well, who's to say New Orleans wants what the Lakers offering? Has anyone even thought about that?
No,
but
I mean,
doesn't
that's
matter
true.
though. Here's the thing: does it matter? Right?
Yeah.
Because we keep talking about this because we got to understand one thing, Tobias. We're on New Earth. These kids don't care about max contracts. Like, when they want to go somewhere, that's where they go. Like, I remember all of us sitting around like, Kyrie ain't got no leverage, and you know, and I was saying at the time, like, I don't even know if that matters. Like, once you say this is where I want to be, that's kind of where you end up. Like, all these things that we think about don't even matter. Like, who's to say that New Orleans doesn't want it? You're right. But at the same time, they know that these dudes live on New Earth, so they're going to sit around and get nothing.
Yeah, and I think the only team that can compete with a deal is Boston. But does he want to live in Boston? Because I don't know too many brothers to line up to live in Boston.
But Boston will have to give up the light-skinned Mamba.
Kobe Tatum?
Yeah.
And you know, and thing is that
in the league right now.
Is he even averaging 15 points a game right now?
He's averaging 16.
Oh wow!
But it's kind of like
it's
kind of like, you know, he'll get earlier in the season, like he'll get great numbers like 26, something like that.
No, wasn't Court? Wasn't Court who tried to argue us earlier this season that he was better than Giannis?
Yeah, he said he was the starting small forward for this year's All-Star team. Now, at the same time, to give my man Court the benefit of the doubt, even though he said something about it later, but to give him the benefit of the doubt, he could have meant, you know, he's so popular that he gonna get the fan votes and all of that. Even though
if I remember correctly,
all right, I tried to help my man out. He was trying to say,
no, if I remember correctly, he started slandering Giannis too. He can't shoot.
He named names. Said boy was better than them.
Yo, Giannis is the best player in the league to me, bar nobody.
Bar nobody.
And he's still growing. And the thing is, Giannis' game is still growing. Yeah, and that's the scary part about it. You kind of forget how young this guy is. And it seems like he's happy in Milwaukee. They got a decent team around him. Chris Middleton's a good player. And I think it's Drew Bledsoe right now. It's Eric Bledsoe out there playing good ball. He's a good player. It's like they got a good coach, so he probably will stick around out there.
Hey,
but
Tobias, I'm gonna tell you like I told Dev, like he seems happy now because there's no pressure on him. When Bron leaves and people start saying where his championships at, he ain't great. That's when he gonna pick up the phone and you know what I'm saying. He gonna be calling Zion like, where you want to go?
Yeah, well, I heard. I didn't read the article, but I saw a headline saying Giannis's pitch to Anthony Davis. So I guess he's the type of dude. He's not trying to leave and go follow you, but he damn sure going to be recruiting if there's somebody to be recruited. So,
and you know what? Teams like Milwaukee, they should be proactive and just get some young players, get stockpile picks, and make a trade for a player like that. And then when you're winning, you offer the money. They may stay like a Paul George, and just have that winning of you just got to take a risk because, like I said before, nobody says they're moving to Milwaukee. And shout out to Joakim Noah. No one's taking a vacation in Milwaukee. But you just got to be honest about this. But you have to be.
Joakim realized in his old age that sometimes you need to play in Milwaukee because it's too lit in New York.
You ain't lying. Speaking of New York and Joakim, we got to give Derrick Rose a shout-out, man. He has been playing some good ball this year, and it's good for him playing some good ball finally. And,
he had 33 again last night. But
Derrick Rose is a victim.
We're at the point
he's a victim of his.
It's at the point where we don't even notice anymore, though.
He's a victim of his own success because we thought that he was about to be that next guy. So even though he's going to end up having like a solid pro career, and not to compare him to him, but if you look at Christian Laettner, he had a solid pro career, but coming in the league, there was so much hype around him that people don't recognize he had a solid pro career. People are like, he's a bum, he's a bust. I'm like, he averaged like 18.
He made an All-Star game. He made an All-Star game or two, didn't he?
So Derrick should have stayed in college an extra year or two because he'd be on the Grant Hill train straight to the Hall of Fame.
But he maybe he don't need that. Maybe he doesn't need that college year because he did win an MVP. Grant never did that. So maybe if he just puts solid years in from here on out and plays like 18 years, he might make it to the Hall of Fame.
Man, and that MVP season he had, if you look at it in retrospect, he was amazing. He was dunking on cats. He was out of control that year. But I'm just saying, so you're right, he has a solid comeback. But he's a victim of his own. He's a victim of that.
Weakened his legs.
Hey, you know what else? If people they still mad he won an MVP. I'm like, this guy that team won 60-plus games with Keith Bogans as your starting two-guard.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And the guy had 25 and 8. That was they say not even 5 players in the history of the league had that stat line. So the kid was great, and he was getting better. And it just shows that injuries can slow you down, so you got to get all – and he was the first one to sign one of those big contracts that paved the way for these big contracts now. And right after he signed it, he got hurt. So that's why I tell these players, get your money. Because you get hurt, they will try to lowball you.
All right. Well, Tobias, as usual, man, thanks for your call. We only got a few more minutes. We got to wrap a few more things up.
Thanks for taking my call, guys. You guys have a good one. And next week, welcome to the Roll Tide Invitational. Have a good one, fellas.
All right. We look forward to it. Peace. All right. So, we got some stuff to finish up here. Some NBA stuff. And y'all know the deal. NBA Rap is always brought to you by Digital Extreme Technologies. If you guys need a custom website for your small businesses, just make sure you get with the people over at Digital Extreme Tech. That's digitalextremetech.com, or you can call 267-205-4203. And for discounted rates, be sure to tell them the folks at War Room Sports sent you. Quick shout out to the NBA Players of the Week. In the East, you had Thaddeus Young of the Indiana Pacers, and in the West, you had James Harden. He traveled to a few destinations this week. In the East, Thaddeus put up 18.8 points per game, 9.8 rebounds, 3.8 assists, while leading the Indiana Pacers to a 4-0 record. It seemed like the East Player of the Week always got weak numbers compared to the West. James Harden put up 37 points.
I feel like Thaddeus Young been in the league 24 years.
No, he's solid, though. 37 points per game, 8.3 assists, 7.7 rebounds, 14 travels, and a 3-0 record for the Houston Rockets. So shout out to Thaddeus and James Harden for winning NBA Players of the Week, man. I wanted to ask you about this, Jim. Because of James Harden and the stuff that he gets away with on a daily basis and the stuff that he gets away with, that he got away with when they were playing the Lakers, it caused LeBron to kind of show up the rest at some point in that game. He started playing defense on the Rockets with his hands behind his back because it seems like every time they, it was a lot of ticky-tack calls. And I think Harden ended up going to the line maybe 19 times in that game. They felt that the whole thing was a little bit lopsided, so to show up the refs, he put his hands behind his back. Is there something there? Like, do you think the Rockets get away with stuff, mainly James Harden? Like, I think he initiates a lot of contact, but he knows how to play the officials into giving him these calls.
Listen,
and non-calls.
It's twofold. I'm not going to lie. And sometimes I dislike watching him play. And, I used to enjoy watching Harden play. He's beard gang and all that. But at some point, like, it gets to be so painful to watch somebody flop on offense. And he flops on defense too. But he's so over the top with it. But then I try to be objective, and I think about it. I can't blame him because he's playing in the gray area. It's like it's always the player that figures something out. And he's figured out better than anybody else playing the game how to use the rules to his advantage. And he's going to force the league to kind of adjust to him. Right. The dude averages like 11 foul shots a game, something crazy like that, 11 or 12. I think he averages foul shots a game, which he's shooting like 85%. He's getting 10 points off the rip. He's getting 10 points off the rip just from the foul.
Just put it on his total before the game starts.
So I it does irritate me to watch, and it was really irritating in the Lakers game because he was flop. Some of his flops were so egregious. Like, he's running into people pulling up for three and then falling around. I'm like, yo, this dude is out of control. But the refs keep giving him calls. So if he's a rock squad, he's doing that, I'm laughing.
I think this dude might be the first dude in history who probably in the offseason watches film of nothing but NBA referees to see what he can get away with. And then he goes and practices it like in the preseason or something. Like, it's crazy the stuff that he gets away with. I mean, but at first you have to take a little bit of umbrage with the rules because the rules these days are a little bit different. Like, you cannot touch anybody once they face up on you. Back in the day, not even just a hand check. You could kind of put your hand out there just to slow the guy down. Now in the NFL and in the NBA, you have to just use your feet. Like when they, the coaches used to say that old cliche to you, stop playing defense with your hands, use your feet, slide your feet.
Yeah,
man,
slide your feet.
Yeah, you have to be great with your feet to even have a chance at playing defense in the league these days. As soon as you touch a dude like Harden lightly, they're gonna blow that whistle. So
what's so hilarious about LeBron putting his hands behind his back is he did it the first time with like CP3 had the rock. And he did it because CP3 was getting calls too. So LeBron was trolling, put his hand behind his back. But as soon as CP3 started moving forward, he literally hand checked him, which is a foul.
Right.
They didn't
so he actually was fouling the dude by the rules.
Yeah. I'm like, yo, you trying to prove that you ain't foul nobody by fouling him. But
yeah, like we gonna keep your hands behind your back. Keep your hands behind your back.
Yeah, that made it kind of funny for one, but there is a point there because. Like, it's not just the Lakers. I've heard other teams complain about, like, the calls this guy's getting. And it's not even just the fouls. My man with this whole hop and gather thing, like, this blows my mind. He took the jump that every little step move he did this past week was out of control. Where he hopped, like, twice.
I told you, the next person say something to me about a zero step or a gather, I'm smacking fire out their ass, man. Dude,
he did it right in front of the ref, though.
Long distance traveling, man. Dude is like cross country, cross the earth traveling. It's ridiculous, man. And it's rubbing off because there's been videos floating around of high school dudes taking 5 steps back to the 3-point line, and you look in the comment section, there's a million people defending it.
No, it's cool.
Yep.
That first step was his gather. That second step was his 0 step. The third and fourth steps was just cool. Like, come on, man. Like,
Yo, watch. Pretty
going
soon, all Little League is going to be cats just like, getting their gather on and pulling up for 3.
And that's the thing. It rubs off on everybody. Like, my son's favorite move, and he ain't even strong enough to do it, is the step back. Like, he'll dribble and then do a step back and then shoot an air ball because he's not strong enough to step back and then shoot the ball. But he keeps doing it. I can't stop him from doing it. I'm going to have to, like, Adrian Peterson, this little dude, to stop him from doing it.
Yo!
Like, yeah, that's the only way I'm going to get through to him. Like, I'm going to have to beat him. But,
yo,
speaking of Bron, man.
Setbacks in 2018 look so crazy, yo.
I know. Speaking of LeBron, though, man, he got his dunk blocked by Jared Allen of the Nets this week, and it was like front page news. It was like the block heard around the world. The crazy part about it is, like, Kevin Durant, even though, we think he's trolling and hating, like, I thought about him as soon as I saw this stat. Like, I think the first publication I saw put it out was Bleacher Report the next day. They said LeBron has more than 1,800 dunk attempts in his career. Only 9 of them have been blocked. So it made me think of Kevin Durant because I'm like, damn. LeBron is that dude to the point where he gets his dunk blocked, which doesn't happen a lot. But the fanboys make sure they run out, get their research on, and come out and let you know that this only happens 0.00001% of the time. Like, it's not that serious.
Yo, man.
Because, like, we already know that. Because if it was a reoccurring, action, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. So we know he doesn't get his dunk blocked a lot. That's why it was such a highlight in the first place. But to run out and do that, I'm like, yo.
To me, this is more. I don't even think this is about Bron. To me, this is more about New Earth. It's kind of like we call us Tone Tobias. Like we live in a world right now where, first of all, people want clicks, and everybody has to create content, and people are trying to create content nobody else has. So when Bleacher Report does that, this show, like one show will pick it up and talk about it, and all the talk show pundits will talk about it. It's like,
and that's what happens.
People are in constant need of content creation, so they're reaching for all kinds of stuff. Sometimes me and you will see a story and be like, yo, why'd they write an article about that? It's because content is king. Cash isn't king no more. Content is king, and people are reaching for, I need something to post on my IG. Like Bleacher Report is good for this. They'll post something on their IG, they post something different on Twitter, something different on their Facebook page, because they are constantly looking for content to post. And you have the Bleacher Reports, you have the Sports Illustrated, you have the ESPN, you have and everybody's looking for something different. And they have these stat boys, go find me something to post about. And nobody gets more clicks than LeBron. So at some point, like, I don't know what's going to happen in the world. I feel like I'm in a episode of Black Mirror on Netflix. Like, it's just so much content, and we have so much information being fed to us on a daily basis. It's getting irritating. It's like, LeBron and Trump. You want to get clicks? They're going to get clicks? Article and LeBron. And don't let them two be beefing with each other because you really get the clicks.
Yeah. When he called him a bum. He called the president a bum.
Yeah, you bum.
All right, we got to get out of here. But before we do, Chris Paul said that his teammate, James Harden, is the best offensive player he's ever seen. We'll go into the quotes and we'll talk about it a little more in depth probably next week.
You don't watch a lot of basketball.
Opinions. But I was about to say, what's your initial opinion on that? We'll talk more in depth next week. But your initial opinion is
he ain't
no.
got league pass. He ain't got league pass.
All right, I hear you. So yeah, we'll definitely talk about that next week. But before we get out of here, we just want to thank everybody for joining us for another briefing in the War Room. Shout out to everybody in the chat room on Facebook, Twitter, the War Room Sports Game Time group, and the GroupMe app. And all the callers who called in to holler at us. If we couldn't get to your call, we apologize. Stuff started to run a little late when Rob called in talking about he's the bedroom bully. We kind of lost our way at that point. But you guys can tune in next week. Special thanks to Fred Perdue for holding us down for an hour, and Gus Griffin for contributing to the show as well. Tune in next week live right here or on demand as we recap NFL Week 16. and preview Week 17. We'll also catch you up on everything happening in the NBA and everything else around the world of sports. So until then, enjoy your weekend, the start of next week, and we'll see you right back here next time. Be sure to catch our conversations on Facebook, Twitter, as well as our blogs, webcasts, and network podcasts on warroomsports.com. Also, make sure you pick up a copy of Jimmy's book at sportsthebook.com or warroomsports.com. And I almost forgot, if you celebrate, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever we're allowed to say these days. We'll see you guys right after that holiday is done. So until next time, everybody, don't accept mediocrity and be steadfast in the war against ignorance. We'll see you chumps on top.
6 to 8 they do this. Shout out to Dev, PJ, B. Austin, Doc Bay on replay. WarRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app. If not, dial 323-140012. They be going and you sensitive, then oh well. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like magic in the block push. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team or listen for your enjoyment. Hip hop scholars, pit stop and knowledge. Should be in sports credits, I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. Corporate secret, but the streets know. Belafonte, I got a G flow. KC royalty, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy, Dev, PJ, Doc Bay, B. Austin. I'm Jock. Up and coming on the beat.
I ain't gonna say it no more.